Yeah, this video is going to piss a couple people off, guys. I can see it immediately. I'm looking at the title of it. Whoa. But I also have the stats here. Listen, there are going to be people who absolutely have the ability to work, but they will not go out and work. Why is that, you may ask? Minimum wage, right? Like specifically, if they're looking for a job that is going to pay minimum wage, they're probably not going to do it. Because they know that they can work that job, but still actually need to be on government assistance, even if they have a job. So why would they work? I think that's probably the overall mentality when it comes to that specifically, right? So, for example, we have cashiers, cooks, nurses even are on this list here, janitors, drivers, and truck drivers. These make up basically the overall lion's share of people who utilize food stamps, the food stamp program, the SNAP program. All right. So we have cashiers at 760,000 cashiers in the United States of America are currently on some type of government assistance, meaning that they're working and still doing it. And I think that's probably the reason, not trying to make excuses here, but that's most likely the reason why the 62% of food stamp recipients are able to work but don't. Right? Because they're like, listen, I'm going to go to work. For what reason? I'm not going to make any money. Specifically in this inflationary state, I'd rather be with my kids. I'm guessing, I'm trying to get into the mind state of the people of, let's say, California, New York, Illinois, New Mexico, Florida. Yeah, these are the places, the main places that actually utilize the most of it, being California the absolute craziest. Okay, so apparently, keep this in mind here. So when it comes to California also tried to push some type of like universal basic income thing, and it feels like a lot of people in California are using the CalFresh program for that basic thing. They're all getting roughly $196 per household. That makes 12% of the population is living off of the government in California, basically, guys. That comes out to 4.6 million people are utilizing this CalFresh program in California. And the numbers are not too far at all in Florida. It comes to 2.8 million people. That's 13% of the population. That's actually more in terms of percentages, guys. And Alaska is also at 13%. So, and Alabama is at 15%. Whoa, guys, this is absolutely crazy. Yeah, those are the states that, oh no, it gets higher. Louisiana, this is the highest I've seen. 18% of Louisiana citizens are utilizing the program, guys. And again, if you have to utilize it and you're just trying to make sure your family has food, I'm pretty sure that's fine, right? But if you're doing it and exclusively not working and actually paying into not paying into the system, I think that's the overwhelming issue here, right? That means that people like me, for example, who have never gotten a tax return in my life, right? And I pay a lot of taxes every single year. And it's actually absolutely insanity how much money I pay in taxes every year. And with that being said, it frustrates me occasionally, right? I'm just like, I'm doing this, you're relaxing. And apparently 62% of them are just relaxing, right? But all right, listen, let's go ahead and jump into this immediately. Report finds 62% of food stamp recipients are able to work, but don't. This is a suggestion via Discord, guys. Let's do it.
There used to be a time when people worked for the American dream, but now more and more want it handed to them on a silver platter via government programs, of course.
Adjusted for inflation, food stamp spending is up about 60% since 2019, just down slightly from pandemic-era highs. And according to the USDA data from that organization, more than half of working-age food stamp recipients are able-bodied adults who do not work.
Here to react is Committee to Unleash Prosperity co-founder, the great Steve Moore. Steve, this is an issue, and I was in the campaign trailer to come up a lot because Americans have open hearts, good hearts. They want to help people in times of need.
Generally,
but when you have able-bodied men and women in their working years who are sitting at home playing PlayStation and watching Netflix, and they're going to work, they get burning mad.
Yeah, look, this is an outrage. when we had COVID, what happened was millions and millions of Americans went on to food stamps.
Of course, they had
in
to.
an unusual number because so many businesses were shut down.
Right.
And then
right.
what happened, Sean and Dagan, is a lot of them never got off. They said, hey, this is pretty good. I can get food stamps. I can get all these other government benefits, rental assistance, and so on. And those benefits could pay as much as an $80,000 a year job. And so here we are in 2024 in an economy that is not in recession. There are problems with the economy, but there are jobs out there. And these welfare recipients, especially food stamps recipients, as you said, who are able-bodied, they're able to work, they just won't work because they've got this cushy chair called welfare benefits, and that's not what the American people want.
Okay, all right. Here's the thing. When it comes to a lot of the jobs that are out there, again, kind of what I was pointing out earlier, there are a lot of jobs. I mean, I think Biden always talks about how, there are so many jobs out there. Look at our job numbers. Bro, that's not the point. You know it, okay? Those jobs will absolutely leave you underemployed. Like, you're working because, again, based off these stats, these numbers here, cashiers, cooks are going to be probably the jobs that a lot of people are going to be taking because a lot of these jobs are always consistently open, right? So they're working, but they're still going to end up on this program because they're not paid enough. And again, that's most likely, just trying to think it all out here. Most likely the reason why there are so many people that are on this 62%, right? They're on this program and they're not going to get off of it. How can they get off of it, right? Now, is it all absolute laziness? No, right? Because again, based off of these numbers, this come from Investopedia, right? Based off of these numbers, 23% of all of the groups that I just mentioned are on this program and they're working, right? So there's seriously an issue with inflation, right? People are just not making enough money for what they used to do, right?
And this is not what we want as well, Steve. This is based on the fiscal year numbers through first 7 months of the fiscal year. Mm-hmm. The U.S. is paying interest on the national debt.
Yes.
That, keep moving, has surpassed, this is 7 months of the first fiscal year, that has surpassed Medicare and what we spend on defense.
Right. 7
months soaring past, this is interest on the national debt, is soaring past $500 billion.
Yep. And guys, keep this in mind. That is just interest payments. Like that money is not at all even touching the actual principal of the debt itself, right? That's a massive issue. Also, another reason why our national credit rating has dropped. All of this is a problem. We should not have printed that much money. Keep in mind, we're paying interest to ourselves, but just be aware of that.
According to the Center for a Responsible Federal Budget, debt interest is on track to top $870 billion this year, up from $345 billion just 4 years ago. This is a death spiral.
Yeah, it sure is. And it's happening for two reasons. The one obvious one is that Biden had a $6 trillion spending spree, and every penny of that was borrowed. And so obviously your debt costs go up. But the other thing that's happened, remember, is that interest rates have gone way up because of that spending spree. Yep. So we have to pay more to borrow. And the cost of turning that debt over gets higher and higher. I think, I forget that number that you just cited for the debt, but interest payment. But I'm here to tell you, if we stay on this path, within a few years, that number is going to be $1 trillion a year just to pay debt. Interest. I mean, come on. You don't get any health care from that. You don't get any, national defense from that. You don't get transportation, schools, just to pay the debt. This is a recipe for total disaster. And by the way, I want to say, I think both parties, unfortunately, are responsible for the spending spree. Neither.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone is involved. And this is kind of what I wish to speak about here. I do not like the concept of echo chambers. All right, we're going to speak terribly about the right and the left at all over here. Right, be aware. Right, but here's the thing: we're always going to have educated guesses or educated conversations kind of regarding it. We'll give facts and backstories and things like that. But either way, in terms of the national debt interest itself, he says he's speculating in a couple of years it'll get even more. Here's the thing: Jerome Powell, specifically the person who controls controls the interest rates in the United States of America, is not going to allow that to happen. He will, in fact, have to drop these interest rates. But by doing that, obviously the 10-year Treasury bond, the other nations will start buying them up again. That'll be great. Interest rates will go down on all money across the United States of America. Another great thing for the average consumer, I'd say. But the main issue is that assets are going to explode in prices. Right, so whatever house you're looking to purchase or the rent you're looking to kind of pay in whatever property you're looking at, it's also going to just completely just blow up, right? Because we don't have enough houses. Right? So now if more people can afford it, more people are going to be bidding on it, which means that the house prices are going to shoot up to the sky. Supply and demand. So that's what Jerome Powell is basically is dealing with right now in the government. He's trying to figure out exactly when is a good time to actually lower the interest rate. He's in control of that. All right, write that man a letter on Twitter or something. Say lower the interest rate. But again, be aware. When it happens, things are going to get tricky.
The other party wants to cut spending, Sean. I hate to say that about your former colleagues in Congress, but even the Republicans are spending like drunken sailors.
All of them are. All of them are.
One party's more responsible than the other party. Let's be clear on that. But both have some blame. You talked to President.
Oh, bro, listen. Both parties are basically doing the same thing. You can try to sugarcoat it, but
more responsible than the other party. Let's be clear on that. But both have some blame. You talked to President Trump quite a bit. Does he understand the death spiral? Will he do what's necessary to fix this problem? Because to your point, when we're at $1 trillion a year in debt, you're never getting out. The consequences are so painful. No politician is ever going to do it. So will Trump do what's necessary to fix this problem?
Oh yeah, we're gonna be able to find about $500 billion of just waste, fraud, and abuse right off the start. All these green energy programs that Biden has spent hundreds of billions, I think we can get rid of those immediately. And then, of course, we want to grow this economy faster. Yeah. One of the ways to bring the debt down is to put people back to work, produce more energy. That'll produce more tax revenue. So, yeah, that is a high priority for us to bring that deficit down as quickly as we can, or else we're headed, I'm going to say it again, $1 trillion a year in interest payments. That's as large as the entire budget when I first came to Washington in 1984. That's just what we're going to pay for interest payments.
You can grow your way out, which is not so painful, or you can tax your way out, which is incredibly painful and will never work. Steve Moore, always great to see you. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
All right. See you guys.
Okay, really quick.
There used to be a time.
He just mentioned something extremely interesting. But the difference is that I don't think that means anything. We're going to go ahead and see. He said $1 trillion was the national debt in 1984 when he went to Congress. So let's go ahead and do $1 trillion in 1984 in the inflation calculator here, guys, really quickly. And we're going to see what that actually means, because he can say that, but I'm not sure it means anything. Let's see, $1 trillion in 1984 equates to $3 trillion today. And what is our national debt? How much is it? Let's see. The national budget. Let's see, just some quick research. We can see how crazy off we are these days. Okay, to be honest, guys, we've spent equivalent, $3.8 trillion since the beginning of this year. Let's say this is half, so we'll double that. Oh, no, it's off. It's way off, actually. That's terrible. Yeah, we're doing bad. We're spending about $10 trillion a year. Basically, I'm gonna go ahead and guesstimate that based off of what of how much has been spent so far this year, versus let's just double it. So let's say $8 trillion. Okay, yeah, that's embarrassing. We're doing bad. Okay, we're doing absolute bad. But keep this in mind: $8 trillion between now and then. But all right, guys, listen, let me know what you guys think. I definitely think that if there are people that are on the government assistance and they actually have the ability to work, they should at the very least do something, right? Just to help out the system, not just sit on it. Right? But yes, I understand. If you go out and get something, you will in fact be underemployed. Right? You're working. but you're not making enough to actually sustain yourself and actually exit these programs. You're not. I get it, but as a collective, right? You should at least try to help a little bit, because you're making it worse, factually. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.